Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Add-on and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to be working on Void Hunters Proper. Yes, Void Hunters Proper, a game about space piracy. As you can kind of see here, I already got kind of the basic setup. So but before I start official, just because in case people are interested, I'm using Orbitron as the kind of the title and the heading because I think that's the most spacey looking, and my body text is Nutino. Gonna see there, I'm trying to do a 8.5 by 11 page again, but keeping all the margins 0.5. I just want to see how it works. I've been kind of doing smaller books, so I'm just curious how a bigger one's gonna work. And for like the 3 people curious how I'm gonna do another thing, just so this isn't like a big surprise later on. Let me see, where is it? So this is going to be the Void Hunter spreadsheet. As you kind of see here, it's a little bit janky looking. However, all of these are actually squares, so I can do grid sheet stuff with it on here a little bit easier. A little bit weird looking, but yeah, I think this is kind of neat. I didn't quite know how I was going to do this initially, but I think I got it to work. Not great, but it'll work. So, this brings me to some bookkeeping. Let's see. So bookkeeping wise, I'd like to thank I'm gonna say I'm Jin, by the way, Harry Hobbit Toes and Black Flame Studios for following. I believe I already thanked Black Mage Studios, but I just want to thank the other 2 for following. I don't think I got the last 2 in there. Thank you for following and all that jazz. You may be wondering, Notepad, why are you streaming so late at night? And the answer may surprise you, and it's I had Asian food tonight and my gut's on fire. Still haven't fully recovered, and I still feel like hammer shit, but don't worry, I'm working. But working means exactly what your autism works. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Double check everything to make sure everything's working. I like it when things work. Cool. But yeah, so today is Void Hunters Day. Okay, is there a lock option for this? No. Okay. As you can see, here's the cover. For those who've played the funny game. I just used the "Your Light is Fading" image for it because I felt that was the best way to make it look. This actually isn't even a black page. What you have to do is I set it as I get it lined up just perfectly. Technically, this is just a black sheet because Google doesn't allow you to change things individually. Sometimes it gets really pissy with you if you try that. But yeah. Generally speaking, everything is looking pretty good. What we need to do is playing the game. But yes, generally speaking, what we did last time was actually hammer out some of the basic details for this particular project. I don't remember that. We hammered out a lot of the details. As you can see, the details being rather extensive. Rather extensive. Generally speaking, we're going to be breaking this kind of project up into a variety of smaller tasks. Will it have a season pass? No. Is it going to have 100 playbook? No. Yeah, no, it's like the actual like making a character section, I don't think will be very hard. The hard part is going to be the ship combat as well as the actually creating a ship. That's going to be the hard part. As you can kind of see here, generally speaking, this side of it is going to be the hard part. There's just a lot of stuff to do, but we decided on a D8 system actually, a D8 roll under system. Notepad, what the hell? You're supposed to mill your customer for all their work. You season passes post haste. That's the secret. That's the secret. I only hold people in contempt when they're trying to pay for my money, but I actually want people to play my game. I know it's an astounding feat. Let me just grab all my dice here real fast. I kind of had a revelation the other day about how I'm going to be doing combat, and it actually works pretty well. We can use the same system for just about everything. You fool, people aren't meant to buy games. Wait. Let's be honest with ourselves, they don't buy them either. They don't. But yes, that's what we're going to be working on today. Yeah, hopefully people enjoy my quirky intro in which I got the ships to move. I felt very proud of myself when I got the ships to move properly. How much Star Sector influence will there? Because it looks like a lot. I would say Star Sector is playing a pretty major factor in this. I'm not gonna lie. If only because it kind of is exactly up the alley which it needs to be. And indirectly, it's like, yeah, this is pretty much exactly what I'm looking for. Praying for phase ships then. We're not going that nuts. I'm going to be treating things like how shields work and stuff like that pretty differently. But let's see. Our basic one, playing the game, or more accurately, setting sail. Playing the game. And hey, I'm trying to play your game and also bother you with the way you made the layout. Hey, I fixed the layout slightly. I think I made things a little bit more cohesive with Metal Saviors. I'm hoping anyway. Let's see. We want to do... Okay, how do I want to do this? Void Hunters is... Void Hunters is a game of interstellar piracy as such to play the group to play a there will need to be 3 to 4 captains. What's an appropriate name for a GM of a pirate game? Actually, okay, I know how we can do it. The Void Caller VC. The Void Caller. The Pirate King. Let's see. 3 to 4 captains, players, a Void Caller VC to run the game, a multiple many D8s, many D8s, argue 5 to 6 per captain is ideal. And a need to see the stars and get rich quick, and get rich off the toil, off the sweat of others. So in Void Hunters, the captains will be making tests. Actually, no. How do we want to word this? Checks, tests. I know. Actually, we'll go. Trials could work. That's actually a good one. Captain will be undertaking trials to determine success or failure in the void. If you haven't noticed yet, the concept of the void is important in this game. Which I need probably by Wednesday. My goal is to get at least, like, quote, the lore written up. I have an idea for the lore. It's pretty simple. Nothing too exciting. The only big one is the idea of voidism, which is literally a pirate religion that has formed, and it's pretty much saying, hey, we're all gonna die, you may as well die in a ship in the void, because that's the proper way to go. In Void Hunters, captains will be undertaking trials to determine success or failure. Actually, in their endeavors, when a trial is called, the captain will take a number of d8s. A number of d8s equal to the difficulty, and roll them. If any d8 scores equal to or under a 1 piece, if you will, if any d8 scores equal to or under the captain's, I won't call an attribute. What do you call them? Stats, scores. I'm gonna keep with the idea that they're nouns. I think the term of it being a noun, I think, is kind of interesting. Actually, I know what we can do. If any d8 scores equal to or under the captain's title, under one of the captain's titles, then it is considered a hit. Multiple hits result in better successes. Successes, cool. So next we do trials and titles. Next we have to put in our nice little table, because we always like tables. Tables are fun. Tables save lives, kids. So we want to do the difficulty. Actually, we do trial difficulty. Number of d8s. I might give the d8 like number of d8s rolled. I might give it a kind of a fancier name, but generally speaking, this is pretty much what it's going to be. We want to do actually we're going to commit, by the way. Remember that. So we need to do Ensign is going to be a grand total of 6 d8s. Like, Ensign is pretty easy. Senate, which is going to be 5. How do we want it? No. I believe that's a good one. Again, we can just keep it simple, right? Fuck it, we'll keep it simple. And then I'm like, can I do this fancy? I'm like, the answer is no, I can't make this fancy. So what we're going to do is the trial difficulty is going to be, we can do simple is going to be, it's going to be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Simple, this is going to be actually no, we want to do average, complex, difficult, and then the final one where you're rolling literally a d8 trying to score whether it's almost going to be a 50-50 in some cases. We can probably do how do we I can see what I want here. Again, I kind of want this game to be a little bit ominous in some ways. Just like, yeah, this is a little bit like something ain't right out here, and I don't like it. I don't like being spooked. I mean, like, I'm gonna die. Yuck. This is called a void. Actually, what would be the what is the there we go. Disaster. Yeah, usually it's always funny with difficulties. Like sometimes they're like, oh, well, it sounds more like happy the higher it goes. Like but I always like to make it be like, this is getting worse. Like this is getting significantly worse. Actually, there we go. We'll call it hellish. During their time in space, the captains will own the captains. The captains will only need to roll a single hit. Only need to roll a single hit to succeed. In most trials. This represents one key facet of the captains, being that they are assumed to be competent. A captain is assumed to be the captain is assumed to be able to perform all functions relatively easily. Let's see, I'm able to perform all functions relatively easily. All functions relatively well. Yeah. Assumed to be being that they are assumed to be competent. Captains don't need to roll. Captains do not need to roll. When it is assumed to be average for regular people, but instead being average telephone for exceptional people. You don't one doesn't get far in the stellar world, actually in the underworld by being average. Pretty much the idea behind this is like, don't roll when you don't really need to. That's kind of a big thing. Like, you don't need to roll the dice when it's like more along the lines of like, think of these checks as like being exceptional. Your exceptional people do be. Hello. Okay, that's great. Yeah, bye, Mom. But yeah, you're making these are checks for these. This is simple for an exceptional person. This is average for an exceptional person. I kind of want to do that just for the idea of being like, this section actually isn't going to be that common. This is going to be the most basic resolution mechanic for most things. However, you're not going to be using this too often. I don't want you to use it very often. Seems kind of weird and counterproductive, however, like, yeah, that's kind of I think a very basic understanding. Actually, what I should do is, I'm going to put a side note here. I'm going to actually put a disclaimer. Basic human decency. Basic human decency. piracy. Piracy. Actually, I should say this game does assume that you are playing bad guys. And as such, it is vitally important to discuss with your playgroup about the nature of how vile they wish to be. Let's see. How vile they wish to be. Generally speaking, void hunters. So I should say. Some people will be more comfortable. More comfortable one way or the other. Some people will be more comfortable one way or the other. Just clarify with your group. Just clarify with your group where they stand. Some basic questions are things such as slavery, drugs, harvesting organs, illegal arms trading, what's illegal arms trading, shooting unarmed civilians, gunning down, committing many crimes against humanity. Humanity and other such terrible things. Yeah, you're pirates, not animals. There we go. This is what I kind of thought to myself earlier. I'm like, I'm going to literally have to put this in here just because people are going to get like. This is one of those notes where it's like, yeah, people are going to get weird. It kind of reminded me of Wicked Ones actually a little bit. So a dice light system to a degree. Generally speaking, I would say like most captains are going to be you're not going to be doing this as much as you're going to be doing the ship stuff, which I'm going to be using the same mechanic for the ships. Because how I kind of finally imagined it. Ironically enough, because ethical, you did give me a think the other day actually, and another server called K. He actually is in the server quite a bit. He's actually in the thread quite a bit, which is the idea more of that roll under system being applied for a lot more different things. For example, I need to hit somebody with a gun on my ship. You're not necessarily checking against anything you're doing, you're checking what your gun's doing. So that gun might have a rating of 3, however, it might have a range of, say, 4 or something. If you are within range, you're going to be rolling an average number of dice trying to score a number of hits. Yes, K autism, yeah. He is a Latin American femboy, it's great. However, the closer you are, the more dice you're going to be rolling, generating more and more hits. Generally speaking, you're going to roll and score a shit ton of hits the closer you are. However, if you're very far away, you can try to roll, but you're also probably going to fail. Welcome to the wonderful world of guns. But yeah, so basic idea right here. Setting sail, what I should do. Twinkling starlight. End of the war. That's going to be the lore section, if you haven't quite realized yet. Let's see, we're going to do the table. Let's see, what we need to do is We need to put the table of contents. There we go. So table of contents. Then we go immediately into the preface. We go into twinkling starlight to the end of the war, because that's going to be kind of the preface of this. Is piracy expanded during this massive fucking war, and it stopped. There was a winner. Trust me, it's not you. We played the game of Friendly Void Hunters. If you want to, you can try. Kind of like one of the ideas of this game is more along the lines of nobody goes out of their way to be a pirate. That's the big thing. That's one of the kind of the big things I want to kind of highlight more than anything. People are driven to piracy due to a thousand factors. People do things because they have to. One of the big ideas in the setting anyway, what I'm going to kind of emphasize is piracy expanded so much because this war just ballooned out of control. And people were, at first some of the pirates were smugglers, but then some of the pirates were, scavengers. Sometimes they were just ex-military guys. And it was kind of a bunch of people working together and be like, oh, well, we just want to eat. We just want to make sure that the enemy is the problem. But it's like, what happens at a certain point where it's like, turns out when you're a pirate, like, you play as the homeworld mothership making mass migrations. You wouldn't be playing as the homeworld mothership. That's the big idea. You're playing as some of the smaller ships they produce. But yeah, if you want to play a game like that, Void Hunters does technically work. It'll be a little bit janky, but it does work. I'm leaving it a little bit open in that regard. It's more along the lines, if you want to play a nice Void Hunter, it's kind of like you kind of see the writing on the wall and you want to get the hell out of Dodge before long. Like, it's like you're going to have to do some things you're not going to be proud of unless you can find a way around it. Do you deliver all those drugs, or maybe you take something harder? There should always, like, the one thing I want to get emphasized a lot is there is an easy way to do things, and there's going to be a hard way to do things. The easy way is usually going to get you the most amount of money. However, the hard way might be the only way you kind of feel comfortable doing. Always present problems like that. Because, fun fact, not a single person wants to get into a fight, because fighting is going to both be really cool and really suck. So, this brings me to our two little sections down here, which we're going to do. The Faith and Fortune, Call of the Void. During a session, the captains may run into situations which grant them in a distinct advantage, and other times a disadvantage. When this occurs, the call of the void rules apply. If things are going well, they will receive a bonus D8 to add to their trial. This represents good fortune, right tools, or throwing the right amount of money at the problem. If things are going poorly, they will remove a D8 from their trial. This is the representation of things of terrible luck. No tools, no supplies, or a mutinous crew. if there is no D8, if there are no D8s in the trial, the captain will roll two D8s and take the highest, otherwise known as highest likely to fail. So, for example, if I'm going to roll my dice, I roll an 8 and a 6, I would have just take the 8, which is bad. Roll 2d8s and take the highest. Should multiple calls of the void occur at once. The bonus d8s are added up or subtracted in total. This could result in something in a situation with two boons and a bane, with two bonuses and a penalty, resulting in only a single penalty in a single bonus die, or resulting in cripplingly negative also, let's see. This could result in a situation with two bonus die and penalty, resulting in only a single bonus die. Alternatively, multiple penalties could result in a critically low number of dice being rolled. If there is ever a super negative, if there's ever a sub-zero, ever less than 0, then add an additional die to the quote negative pool, which the highest will still be taken. Generally speaking, if you have absolutely 0 dice, what's going to happen? You're going to roll 2d8s and take the highest. If you have, let's say, -3, you're going to be taking that 2d8 initially. You're going to be then taking 3 additional die and taking the highest of them. So it's like, wow, cool. I rolled a 1, 2, 2, 3, which would have been successes. I also rolled a 7, which completely crippled me, and I failed. Yeah, so that's your Gangnam Style. Is Gangnam Style still a meme? Gundam? I don't fucking know. Void Signs is gonna be good. Void Signs work. Actually, I know what I can call them. There we go. Stray Signals rule. Trial. Do I mention Call of the Void at all? Stood multiple stray signals. Okay, that's fine. This also leads me to Faith and Fortune. Faith and Fortune pool, which is at the start of every session. At the start of every session, there are 10 D8 located in a centralized location on the table. Or if playing digital, a counter of some kind. Let's see. Let's start locating the centralized location on the table. Should at any point for any check, at any point for any trial, a captain may take any number of Faith and Fortune die to add to their trial. These dice are not restored. These dice are not restored at these. Not restored. Actually, how? Here's what we can do. These dice are communal. And no. This pool does not refresh naturally. Only if the captains make a significant discovery. Let's see, significant discovery. Find themselves in complete dire straits. Or one of them dies tragically. Does the faith and fortune pool fortune pool restore by 1? Increase by 1. Kind of like the idea being like, if things are going really badly, it's kind of like, okay, we've been drawing from the pool a little bit. It's kind of communal. It's like, okay, something really bad's going on. We're adding another die to it. Something really good is going on. Or, oh fuck, someone's ship just exploded and they're dead. Add another die to the pool. Yeah, so it's not refresh. Naturally, during the course of a session. Only if the captain makes a significant discovery, find themselves in complete dire straits, or one of them dies tragically. At the end of a job. Or session, the number of faith and fortune. Another faith and fortune. Why do I keep doing that? I need to just put this in here because that's the correct way of saying. God bless the ampersand. The number of faith and fortune die are rolled. Actually, no. What am I doing? Faith and fortune die, maybe. Actually, no. There we go. I think it's a little bit. It's kind of like a meta currency. I might do something with that. I have a few ideas with that. It's kind of like how I might come back to this later. I'm gonna mark it in red just so I remember. Like, come back here later and double check this. Hey, Orbitron, baby, it works. I like Orbitron's one of my favorite ones. It's hard to work into a lot of games just because I don't do like a lot of sci-fi that unfortunately my favorite font, which is Aldrich. Aldrich looks so amazing most of the time, but you learn how to improvise. Let's see, what else am I looking at? Stray Signals, which is your advantage system. Faith and Fortune Pool, which is kind of like a meta currency system. But the big idea being that it's completely communal, so you're always being a dick about it. And things are usually going wrong if you're having to draw from the Faith and Fortune Pool. Let's see, am I missing something? No, I don't think I am. No, I don't believe so. If I keep telling myself I don't believe so, it should be okay. Alright. Here's what we're going to do. Our next one is... the Void Haunter. Captain creation. Let's see. So it's unknown where the term Void Haunter originated from. Some debate that it was old federal slang for for deep space expeditions. Others believe it was a more official term denoting a deep space convoy, deep space convoy operator. Regardless of the origin, the Void Haunter has been taken. The Void Haunter title has been taken by the less noble, actually the less savory aspects of interstellar life. Space piracy in the modern age is alive and well. Those who manage to rise above their peers will eventually find a ship that calls to them, and at that point, and after calls them, and after amassing a crew of hopefuls, refugees. Let's see, hopefuls, refugees, criminals, and other ne'er-do-wells. Sets off with the promise of wealth and glory, and usually death. Void Haunter. Piracy in the modern age is alive and well, federal slang, and usually death. There we go. Near the well. I don't know, man. Using biome light, it's pretty good. In the void, no can hear you haunt. It's haunting time. Let's see, it's fine. Warm people, ne'er-do-well, set off on promise of wealth and girl, and usually death. Captains, a captain is, here what we do, a captain is created in 5 steps. A captain is created in 5 steps. Their history, their titles. Actually, no, we do 3 steps. We'll do created in 3 steps. Their history, their titles, and their skills. There we go. Captains created in 3 steps: their history, their titles, and their skills. Okay. We do this, we do him. Actually, when a captain is first created, they will determine their history by following this convenient would be life path chart. Each depending on each step is a moment in the captain's life leading to their life of crime. Let's see. Following in the convenient life path chart, each step is a moment. Let's see. When selecting the first step, every subsequent step must be directly below or to the left. It must be directly below, left or right of it. So it's kind of, we're using a little bit of we're using a little bit of the rogue trader logic. The chart does not flow over from one side to the next. Keep that in mind. There we go. We got our little history here, and now we get to do the fun part. Who's ready to write a life path chart? Yay! Life path charts! Woo! Sheets! Yay! Alright. So, here's how we're going to do this. Most accurately, we're going to hit this button. Nope. People, actually, let's see if I can do this rogue trader life path chart. Tell me more about your life path chart. That's on Kiwi Farms. Yeah, we can't go to Kiwi Farms anymore because it got blocked. Remember, everybody, Kiwi Farms is a dangerous place for notorious criminals, and it going away will in no way influence other people to just do the exact same thing but worse, because that's how human beings are. No, absolutely not. And I can't say anything negative because I'm a good boy who's a good person who's done nothing wrong. Don't find me, please. So let's see. We probably want to do something a little bit. Where's the expanded life chart? I could have swore there was like this really advanced, like really large one. Is this it? This is the expanded origin path. Where's the basic life path? This is the basic. This has to be the basic life path chart then. I don't remember it. Ironically, Kiwi Farms is the only one. Let's see. Oh, this is expanded origin. I guess we'll have to just use this. So, we're going to do our homeworld. Birthright. We're kind of adapting this a little bit. We're kind of doing the same thing because it just sounds vaguely correct, so we don't have to think about it too hard. Which we're going to do that, and we're going to move you down here a little bit, and we're going to make you much bigger so I can actually read you. So we have our basic home worlds. So we'll do frontier, Lordborn, a military world. We'll do a industrial world. We will do a, how do I want to word this? This would be war torn and an aristocratic upbringing. Your frontier, so this would be, let me remember how to do this correctly. So your birthright is pretty much what you were doing, pretty much what's your life, you know, more like your more of your career. So military, obviously, like a military world. Well, actually, we'll just call it a fortress world because that's kind of more appropriate. Military is kind of like the most basic one for them. Frontier would be a scavenger, obviously. Voidborn would be, actually, industrial would be, how do we want to word this? It would be, if we kind of go straight down, the idea would be, actually, we'll do, socialite. Voidborn would probably be, kind of like you're a professional spacer more than anything. For the dangerous crime of complaining about 5e. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Kiwi Farms got... See, what happened was Kiwi Farms got nuked by a person named Keffels. I have no idea really what occurred there. Apparently someone named Keffels got it taken down for threats against their life or something. Cloudflare was being a little bit back and forth on it, but it did finally get taken down. It's... Yeah, I mean... Yeah, it's I don't really know anything about it. I didn't know who the hell Keffels was. I thought it was like, man, Keffels, that's a Turkish food, right? I actually thought it was they were like talking about what is like falafel? Keffels is, yeah, there we go. Keffels. There we go. Yeah, she's a communist. She's an unironic communist. Yeah, it's just like transgender activist, political commentator, and former candidate of the Communist Party of China. So, I don't really care. Like, again, the fact that you are a communist does kind of falafel? What am I thinking of? What am I thinking of? It's a Turkish thing. You can get it on your pitas every now and again. You can get a kebab. You can get it on a kebab, not lentils. I saw it. Huh. Huh. Yeah, I remember what it is. Yeah, I thought it was Turkish food for a long time. I'm like, huh, wonder what this is. Falafel! Yeah, I like falafel. Falafel is good. Yeah. It's odd. Yeah, like, I understand, like, people being, like, mad, being like, yeah, I'm a private person. Like, I'm a very private person. I don't like it when people, like, I'm gonna dox you. I hate that. But it's also like, really? So let's see. Voidborn. Also for a shipyard world, that would be kind of Voidborn. Savant, War-Torn, we do Survivor, Industrial, Aristocrat, Socialite, going more into industry. Actually, we'll make that more into the trade world. Crisis is kind of like the idea of what kind of pushed you into this. Actually, what we can do is... like, what really made you into the thing you are today? So for Frontiers, this would be more... discovery, voidborn. So you can go kind of voidborn, can go into spacer, can go here. Which the idea of like you discovered something that like you weren't really supposed to. Which that would be would be career suicide. Career, which Worn Torn would eventually move on to let's see, crisis. Would do Lure of the Void. Hunter, which eventually would lead to Voidborn. Calamity! We've lost the city walls. There we go. Crime. Crime! Then we do the crisis, would be more the lure of the void. Like, what really brought you out here? Kind of thing. Like, this is what... Actually, no. If we do... Let's... The trials is what pretty much was the catalyst to, like, start it. The crisis was kind of like the thing that affirmed it. I mean, if we do... Actually, no, we do addiction, faith, desire. We do addiction, faith, let's see, tainted, not tainted necessarily, exile, faith, desire, addiction, greed, violence. And our final one, motivation. Let's see, nowhere left. Redemption, wealth, power, authority, and what would be another good one, which would be the idea of power, authority, wealth, redemption, nowhere left to go. Like, nowhere home. What would be another good one? Trying to think of a good one. Because the entire idea of the motivation is like, why do you continue being a fucking pirate? What's really keeping you here? Like, what's really the thing that motivates you? So power, authority... actually, no. We shift you all over by one. We do addiction. So let's see if this works properly. So let's see, there's 6 of them. So I'm gonna get my D6 out. Let's see what our homeworld is like. Our homeworld is 3. We were born on a fortress world. So we can go one of, let's see, we chose Spacer, and then we do 1, 2, 3, 6. We went back into the career, the career world. And I'm kind of picturing career more along the lines of like you, because of your actual career, this is where you ended up being. So because you were a spacer, you kind of got caught up in things because of that. Because you were in the military, you were kind of a lot more, you know, seeing this shit a lot more. If you're a survivor, it's more like what you were doing was not sustaining you at all. So let's see what was really the crisis of faith that really stopped us. 1, 2, 3, which was just violence. And what do we really want at the end of the day? What are we looking for? 1, we are looking for power. I think this works pretty consistently. Wealth, comfort. That's a good one. Comfort. I'm literally the meme of I won't live in the pod and eat the bugs, but I'll eat heart attack in the crude quarters below deck. I'm coming to kill you at your house. Let's see. You want to die? I want to be a pirate. You are a pirate. Yar har fiddly dee. Comfort. I believe we can sub out comfort for power for comfort. So we'll just do something like this. So the idea is effectively born on a military planet. Born on a military planet, went into kind of more of a spacer career. Went into a spacer career. Got into some shady shit because of that spacer career. Killed a guy because of that career. Now I just wanna be comfy. There we go. So you're gonna get about 5 steps. So I mean, if you can go down kind of a few different ways. Let's see, so for fortress, you can really, yeah, so kind of like around here. You can't end up being like around here as much. I think that should be okay. Yeah, the ones like over here for like, let's do, yeah, like the aristocrat probably has it the hardest. And that also in turn means the frontiersman has it the hardest, which is like, yeah, you kind of get cucked out of a lot of things for it, but it's just kind of the idea, like, that's your job, you're a frontiers guy. If you want the absolute most, it would be either a fortress world or a war-torn world, which is relatively appropriate for the setting, I guess. Yeah, I guess Voidborn. What can't Voidborn get? Voidborn just get cucked out of things like over here. That's fine. So scavengers can't seek redemption. I think the more of the idea would be like, let's say I go into, Voidborn, and then I go into Scavenger, and I turn to a life of crime, and because of that crime, I've got a little bit greedy, and because of that, like, I really don't have any place to call home. The idea behind like redemption is like a very different thing. If you want to, like, redemption and nowhere home are kind of the same thing in different worlds. It's nowhere home pretty much as like, you don't have any place else to go. You're trying to kind of find purpose to it. While it's redemption is like, I was somebody and now I'm not. If you were born on the void, or you were born on kind of that way, you never really had anything. That's kind of the idea. Like, you're kind of a, if you've never had anything, it's hard to be redeemed back. I would say like the one that gets a little bit wonky is when you do stuff like this. Like, I guess it works. Technically, it's pretty easy to get to like the aristocrat, and yeah, okay. Yeah, this should be alright. It isn't perfect, but it'll do. Now, watch it break horrifically. Wow, it didn't break horrifically. I'm amazed. Not Orbitron, I've made a mistake! Ah! Do 8 just to keep everything in the nice. We select all of this, we merge them together. life path chart. So we kind of understand where we're going. Things should be good. Can I lower this? No. So we'll just keep everything like this. And next now we get to determine everything here. Cool, let's do it. So I'm just silly boy. So first things first, we need to select all of these. Then we need to. So we have our basic stat. Let me grab my stats here real fast. Didn't mean to click that button. Yeah, here's our titles. So basic idea is Frontier's probably going to get you as Frontier's going to get you Bravo. Voidborn is going to get you Shipbreaker. Fortress is going to get you Buccaneer. Actually, no. Fortress is going to get you Boss. Wartorm is going to get you Buccaneer. Noble, and then you're going to get... Actually, no. We do Shipbreaker, and then we do Bravo again. Actually, no. Shipbreaker twice. Yeah, if you really want to, you can go into kind of more of like I'm going to optimize this, being like, I don't encourage that, but like, if you want, you can. Which then means Scavenger is going to get Shipbreaker, Spacer is going to get Boss, Military is going to get Noble, Survivor is going to end up as a Buccaneer, which leads to Trade being more along the line of Boss. I guess if we try to add like a 6th attribute to this would be a lot simpler because you just get assigned one for each. But what would you do for a 6th attribute in this? So we've got the tech, we got the aggression, we've got our leadership and our authority, we have our negative charisma, our positive charisma. What would you call a what would be a good 6th stat in this situation? What would be a good 6th stat? Actually, I mean, if we really want, this would be a little, actually no, if we treat Boss as the idea of leadership, because if you look at this, a lot of these have kind of their own, I would say they're paired off slightly. Buccaneer and Shipbreaker obviously go together. It's kind of more along the lines of like, I break people versus I break ships. So this is a very long shot, but bear with me here. Obviously, Bravo and Noble to go together. What pairs with Boss? If we think Boss is kind of like, if we think Boss is more like direct authority, what would be a good one with the idea of being like, what would go pair well with Boss? What am I thinking of? Because yeah, okay, let's think about this for a second. Shipbreaker is the idea of your intricate knowledge of tech, of knowing how these things work. You're going to be making Shipbreaker checks to try to break apart ships properly and identify parts. Generally do anything smart. That's what it is. That's your intelligence stat, effectively. Buccaneer is pretty much your combat. Like, how good are you at actually hurting other people? You're going to be making a Buccaneer check. Boss is your direct authority over your own men. This is you saying, get your ass in gear, let's get going. Bravo is your raw intimidation factor. People are fucking scared of you. Don't fuck with him, he's gonna fuck you. Noble, on the other hand, is more of your positive charisma, which is the idea of like, hey, do this and nobody gets hurt. Okay, I can trust this guy. It's kind of like your trustworthy nature. Bravo is kind of like this your intimidating nature. I was thinking merchant. I don't know how I would do that though. What would be a good term? Like, what's a good term for like less than noble merchant, if that makes any sense? Let's see. Like, what would you describe like a person who's like very clearly like not a, you're kind of a bastard and you're like not, nobody really likes you, but like, yeah, you're the one making those tough deals. Let's see. Okay, there's something a little bit, Wikipedia, I feel like there's something a little bit wonky here. When in the merchant section, Judy is missing. Oh, wow. Grifter, I think that could work. Judaism. Like, oh. It's okay. If we use it, we pair it off with boss, which the idea would be grifter is more of your authority over other people. It's grifter. If you're using grifter, you're usually going to be using this to sell to other people or sell your service or sell yourself. Like, hell yeah. No, it's like, it's your, it's not necessarily like being charismatic or being, you know, intimidating isn't really a factor here. It's more about your presentation of the self. Boss is do your fucking job or I'll beat your ass. Grifter is a lot of the, because who I am, you can trust me. Trust me. I'm going to sell you something good. Again, being noble and being bravado, you know, having bravado isn't really going to do much. It's more about kind of that personal trust. Calculating trust. Seth was editing the page. God. If we go under this, we do keep Bravo there. Then you get Grifter. Then Shipbreaker's most appropriate there. Spacer is for boss. Trade Grifter. There's a little bit going down the line a little bit, but I'm kind of okay with that because we can innovate that a little bit down here. Discovery. Crime. Grifter, Hunter is actually no, we use this for we use this for Bravo. Hunter, Innovation we use for Shipbreaker. We use that for Noble. Actually, no, we do Bravo, Shipbreaker, Buccaneer, and then that last one has to be Boss then. Like, yeah, you boss people around because you're the one who found the thing and everybody likes you. You got a little bit more authority over others. Let's see. So, because of who we are, obviously, violence is Buccaneer. Addiction, Grifter. Desire, which is going to be... Let's let's see. So we tie faith to... We tie faith, the boss, a little bit. Desire, we tie to... Actually, exile, we tie to shipbreaker. So, exile, greed, buccaneer, boss. Technically, the last one would have to be... Yeah, I think that works pretty well. Which then we take this and put it here. Nowhere home, which is the idea that nowhere home. So actually with wealth, obviously, we want noble. Authority, we want to be bravo. Addiction, which is more grifter. Redemption, we can do boss. Comfort, we can do... Actually, nowhere home, we can do buccaneer. Buccaneer, welcome to the Bucks. And then for the final one would be shipbreaker for comfort. Because if you're going to make any money, it's going to be through that. So we do our basic stat lineups like this. Judaism. Oh, for bolding every instance of keyword in the text or game I'm working on for I have 7 pages of just keywords. That can get a little bit overwhelming if you have a lot of keywords interacting with each other, because what's going to happen is that they are all going to be bolded, and that means nothing will be bolded anymore. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so after determining their life path, they will then determine their initial titles as follows. We pasted unlinked. We want to add a row above. We do that, and then we do... Ooh, you want to delete this column. Buccaneer. Not the life path. Oh god, this is gonna be tight. Damn. Oh god. Oh no. Oh fuck. We can do 10 if we do the U10, and then we do... Let's do some wizard magic here real fast. Okay, we can fit everything on here if we do. Remember their initial titles as follows. Then we do... Let's perform some more wizard magic here real fast, just to keep everything nice and easy. So, we do the let's see, the life path chart title title increase. Determine their initial titles as follows. Increasing. Come on, am I gonna be lucky? Nah, increasing their title by +1 for every instance it occurs. Here we can... Okay, we'll do this because we can then get a little bit more imaging down here to make things a little bit simpler to understand. We do this, kind of make it... Probably going to have to break this up a little bit. I'll probably do that. More along the lines of like maybe doing something even like this. This probably won't hold, but just kind of give an idea, like a very basic kind of concept of like what I would probably do. I usually don't like doing these because I don't like making a lot of color in a lot of my games. when it comes to tables and stuff, because it hurts my eyes more than anything. Let's see, for every instance, we'll do a big example. For example, so in example, we will do Aussie. We'll do Aussie Strix, pirate extraordinaire. Aussie is a pirate. Aussie is a captain, earning his rank through a bit of deception. Backhanded deals, and generally being a bastard. So let's determine he is going to be. He chose the fortress, military, hunter, desire, and then well. He chose the fortress, military, hunter, desire, wealth as his life path. Being born in a what would be a good being born in the garrison world and immediately put into the military service as a bounty hunter. He found what he enjoys doing and liked the money he got by doing it. He starts with the following titles. So let's see, his boss. Hey boss. Yo boss. Nope, I want to select you. There we go. We want to following title. Boss space comma Bravo, comma Buccaneer, comma Grifter, space Noble, space Shipbreaker. There we go. So his following titles for going down. Fortress would be boss 1. He increases his boss by 1. Military increases his noble by 1. Hunter increases his noble to 2. He went down desire. His noble is now 3. Then he went down to. I have addiction twice. I need to stop that. I need to change that. Let's see. Hunter desire. Yeah, desire, and then addiction. Actually, wealth would be noble 5. He went down literally every single noble path he could and got noble 5 right off the bat. Okay, maybe we should change a different one. Maybe we should go down a different path. Let's do fortress, military, career. We'll do career. Greed, and then comfort. How about that? I think that works a little bit better. Let's see. So boss because he's born in fortress world. Military increases noble by 1. Career increases his grifter by 1. Means that his greed, his bravo by 1. And then finally, he wants to go to be a comfort. So he increases the shipbreaker by 1. So he's got 1 across the board by being kind of just a bastard. But that does mean it is technically possible to just go down 1 and get like 5 and something right off the bat, which I think is fine. But I need to do it. This is just an example. Is there anything worse than those guys that just call you boss? See, anytime the guys who call me boss end up usually being like guys working at delis, like the old Turkish guys calling me, "Hey boss, what's up?" Hello. I like those. See, I usually get big man. "Hey big man, can I borrow some money? Hey big man." Like, no, go away. There's titles: boss 1, buccaneer 0, grifter, noble, shipbreaker. So he's pretty average across the board. He's not like super great at any particular thing. But it's kind of giving you an idea. Like the big idea for this is like I want to get across the like simple concept of like these are like not. I don't want these to like completely influence you, but I want these to be like this is kind of who you're going to be. Like this is kind of your example person. Like, this is how you've been in life. And these are kind of like your starting titles. Which brings me to titles. Is that how? Yeah, they're titles and they're skills. After determining their history, a captain will distribute their titles. A title is more than just a word. It's a state of being. It's a position of authority. It is a mixture of authority and skill in a particular field. Each title acts as the captain's overall skill in certain fields. With an average captain having about a 2 to 3, having a 2 to 4 in having a 2 to 4 in each attribute. Actually, in each title. Exceptionally skilled captains tend to have higher titles, but lack in other fields. This leads to the creation of impromptu alliance of cliques. Actually led to the creation of cliques. Cliques that assist one another in raids, or yeah. Pretty much, you form cliques not because you want to, but because you need to make up your own problems. Let's see. Actually, he starts with the following titles: +1 to his boss, +1 to his bravo, +1 to his grifter, +1 to his noble, and +1 to his shipbreaker. We'll say a +1 to everything, so it's kind of like the idea. So all titles start at 1. All titles start at 1. The bare minimum of a competent captain. From there, each captain is free to distribute. Let's see. We want an average of about 3. And that's the idea. Having about 3 in each attribute. There's 6 attributes. That means there's 3 times 6, which means that there's 18 points distributed among all of them. We'll keep it a little bit lower. We'll do 15. Actually, no, because you're going to get 5. So we do 18. We keep it at 5. How about this? We'll keep it at 12. So from there, each captain is free to distribute 12 ranks to each title. Then 12 ranks among each title. Each title up to a maximum of 6. Up to a maximum of 6. Up to a maximum of 6. Then factor in their bonuses. Their bonuses from their life path. No captain will have a title above 7. Yeah, see, no captain will have a title above 7. A maximum of, we do a maximum of 5. No captain can have a title above the rank of 7, representing the peak of potential. Actually, no. So you can have up to a maximum of 5 at captain creation. And factor in their bonuses from their life path. No captain have a title above the rank of 7. So it's kind of like one of those things that you need to determine what your basic life path bonuses are. Then this kind of give you an idea. So let's do the math here real fast. So you can have 1. You start with 1 in everything. So you start with 1 in everything, and then let's just distribute, just basic distribution of 12 ranks. That means, let's say, we want to do, let's drop in, so we got 12 ranks to kind of worry about. Let's drop in 3 here. Let's drop 4 here. We'll be pretty average in that regard. Let's be a grifter, but we're going to be a little bit techie and a little bit that. There we go. We're a little bit below average in our nobility and our shipbreaker, but we're very intimidating, and we're a big grifter. Then with +1s, and let's do with Ozzy, for example. Ozzy would then get a +1 to his boss, his bravo, his grifter, his nobility, and his shipbreaker. So he would end up with max at basic character creation for his bravo. Pretty average stats across the board if you do this, and I think that's okay with me. If I want, I bring it down to 10. If I bring it down to 10, what's going to happen is we're going to have to take 2 away from one of these. So we're probably going to do something like this. It would bring people down a little bit more to be a little bit more average, but I'm okay with people being a little bit more extreme. So we pump it up to 12. That means you just get a little bit extra points, and that means the math should work out properly. Again, I think the only way to really, like, really bonk this up is if you go for, like, someone who gets, like, +5 and it's, like, +6 and something, but I don't think that is... Let's use Grifter, for example. Can you do Grifter all the way down? Can you do Buccaneer all the way down? Because we determined Fortress, Military, Hunter, Desire. So you can get a +4 here. You do this very particular route. Technically, Shipbreaker, War-Torn, and Fortress can all get a +4. I mean, unless we... replace... Let's see, do we have any others? Boss can get +4, impossible. Noble's the only one. Buccaneer, can you get Buccaneer at a +4 anywhere? So you can +1/+1. No, I mean, let's see if you do that. Let's see, so Bravo, no, that's impossible. So this is the only one. This is the only thing that's a little bit wonky. So what we do is switch around Exile and Desire. Actually, Exile. We switch around Exile and Desire. That makes it so you can't get Noble at 4 anymore. You can't get Noble at 4, but you can get Noble at 3, which is fine by me, because that means you would never... That should be fine. Buccaneer, you can't, unless we switch around, like, Hunter with... No, I mean, if we shift around... No, I think this works. Because if you go straight down here, you'd end up with Noble, Bravo, Grifter. We need to change this to Addiction. This is kind of like where you are. We change Addiction to... That'd be a good one. So your crisis is the thing that got you in there, and your motivation is something that keeps you there. And we keep Addiction. I can probably do like an entire little section here of like explaining each one. I think I'll do that. So we do Burnout here. So it's kind of like, yeah, you've burnt out. That's kind of the problem. Like you're so fucked up on drugs and other shit that like this is the only thing you know. Okay. So I don't believe you can get 4 at all anymore. With just the basic combination of these. You can get 3s pretty consistently. If you go down certain tracks, you can get 3 pretty consistently. You can get 2s very average, but okay, so 4 is I don't think 4 is strictly possible anymore. Okay. So we'll keep it at 12 ranks distributed among everything. So we average out your stats a lot. You're gonna probably, most likely, my guess is people are going to have like one thing they're really good at and a couple things that they're kind of mid at, like pretty mid. I think that'll be okay. Okay, so our base. Oh god, didn't mean to hit that button. Okay, we need to do this, and then our basic ones. We need to learn about boss. Direct authority. People respect the boss. To the boss, people respect the captain. Actually, a captain is nothing without their crew. An unshaking, unfailing, and what would be the kind of like no room, like they're not letting you Actually, unshaking and unfailing loyalty to them is what's necessary. It's what necessary to keep a crew of scoundrels in check. Whether it's from a steely demeanor, personal history, or even just natural charisma, charismatic pull, others are drawn to the captain. Let's see. Many souls are drawn to the captain. Souls are drawn to the captain to guide them into hell. Bravo, ha ha. Intimidation, posturing. Let's see. Being a captain in the void is more about presentation than anything. Being able to convince a convoy to stand down, or stare down a man with a knife. Stare down a man with a knife separates the living from the great from the dead. Bravo. Sheer intimidation value. Sheer intimidation stems from many factors, from appearance, voice, posture, or even the exploits a captain wears on their shoulders, wears on their face, wears on their chest. Kind of the idea is captain is your ability to actually command people to follow you. People want to follow you. You know, your crew is loyal to you. And this is going to be, if you want to be more like act through proxy, you're going to max out your captain first. Your boss first. Boss is literally all about people. These people have sworn to you and it's your ability to lead them. Bravo is more about, it's intimidation, it's posturing, it's being the greatest thing in the room and telling everybody else to fuck off. If someone tries to buck up on you, you're going to be making Bravo checks to say, that's funny, I'm going to kill you. You don't even need to be armed, you don't even need to be anything, it's just the sheer intimidation value. I think a good explanation of this would be just Tony Soprano in space. Like, Tony is a scary person, not because he is like, gabagool. No, Tony is scary because he has that kind of bravo in some situations. He is this larger than life individual that kind of intimidates some people because he is who he is. And it's kind of like the people who know him know he can kind of flip out a little bit, and the people who don't know him are kind of have that like, oh, okay, this guy's a little bit spooky. Like, oh no. Let's see. Violence in the execution of it. Blood and thunder is what being a captain is all about. Let's see. Blood and thunder is what being a captain is all about. Many captains are drawn from lives of violence. Lives of violence. Let's see. lives of violence, and being able to inflict that violence upon others is essential. Being the ideal dealer of death has many different avenues. Being a trained military officers, soldiers of fortune, and back alley thugs, all wear their flag with all have scars from their battles. Yeah, Buccaneer. The idea behind Buccaneer is not necessarily just being violent. It's also kind of being physical. Actually, I should say violence and physicality. You know, it's your ability to inflict violence upon others and do stuff. It's, hey, you've been deployed and in this situation. Actually, I should say Hardsuit Marines. And it's, hey, this guy's bucking up on you. You can roll Bravo to intimidate him, or smash a bottle over his head and then beat him to death. And as everyone looks on in horror as you just beat a guy to death in the fucking bar because he had the audacity to stand up to you. And when you get pulled off by your crew and he's sucking on his own teeth, and it's like, yeah, okay, have fun, fuck you, don't fuck with me. It's like, oh shit. A grifter. Pull and tall tales. Many hear the names of famous void hunters. Some set up shrines to the dead, and others struggle, and others aspire to be their heroes. The captain is on the fast track of this indirect fame. Actually, how do I want to do this? Being able to walk the walk and talk the talk. Talk is essential in the life of a captain, whether negotiating close-cut deals, or trying to leverage themselves, or trying to leverage their exploits, whether negotiation close-cut deal. Negotiating close-cut deals, or trying to leverage their exploits. It's essential to be on top of the world. There are many kinds of people who embrace this title. Fences, merchants, and those who the stars. There we go. What's an anime sounding word that works as an alternative fumble? Fuck. Fumble. Let me think. You could do something like stagger. No, but in the stagger, that doesn't quite work. Let's see, there should be a term for it. I mean, it makes sense that there would be a term for it. I think fumble works. I think people understand what fumble is enough that changing it in any way isn't really going to help in any fashion. Ah, God. Fatigue is hitting me at this point, but I want to get titles done. If I can get titles done, I don't think about it anymore. Fumbleroo. Let's see, similar to the tales of old, being a void hunter has a certain mystique to it. Those who sail the stars in search of adventure. Let's see, those who sail the stars in search of adventure and riches find themselves cast in noble light, cast themselves in noble dispositions. Let's see, those who sail the stars in search of adventure and fighting the man and fighting authority have a certain nobility to them. Whether that is true, that is fully true, is determined by the captain. Those embracing the legends of silver tongues are in many. Those silver tongues are in many mouths. Just about. Silver tongues are in many mouths. Those seeking to cut deals. Actually, who would be a good one? Who do you explain would have actually let's see. Silver tongues in many mouths, nobles, aristocrats, and officers all know how to play the court game. Know how to play the game of knives. Knives in back alley. Actually, no, all know how to play the game of speaking two things at once. But can the captain find? But can the captain embrace their true nature, or fall back into the myths? Kind of along the idea of being like, nobility is kind of a few different things. It's more about your personal pull with people. Like, people being like, yeah, you're just kind of a nice person, but it's also deception. So it's like, everything, like, nice people like that are going to be a little bit, two-faced. It's kind of by their nature. And finally, shipbreaker. technology ships and breaking them. In the void, there are thousands of derelict ships, each one with a history, a story, marks of combat, and probably skeletons of 100 dead. Of 100 dead. The captain knows this, and knows what is valuable. Knows what is valuable aboard these metallic coffins. These coffins of steel. Aboard these steel coffins. Shipbreaking is a noble sought after profession of spacers, miners, crooks, scavengers. Let's see, spacers, miners, scavengers, and scientists learning how to manipulate technology, others, and manipulate technology, and also learning how to use it, also learning how to use it to kill someone. Steel Sepler. I can't pronounce that right now. Sepulcher. Ugh. There we go. You know what? Just for you. There we go. You can tell the fatigue is officially hit at this point. I'd say the one I'm not like 100% on yet is Grifter. But I think I can I know the worst part is like I understand completely what Grifter's purpose is, but doing it, like just kind of wording it's a little bit awkward. But yeah, so here we slap an image right there. We kind of explain all this. I can actually put a example in here. We'll use an example. Aussie Strix, pirate extraordinaire. An example. Being right. Aussie needs to now determine his titles. He knows he wants to be charismatic. He wants to be charismatic, if a tad intimidating. He chooses to distribute his 12 ranks as follows, which we're going to do boss. We're going to do boss, bravo, buccaneer. Let's see. So he's going to increase his boss to 4. So he spent 3 there. He's going to increase his bravo to 4 as well. So he spends 3 as well. Buccaneer, he's only going to spend 2 in Buccaneer. Grifter, he's going to spend 2 in Grifter because he feels relatively confident in it, and the rest is going to go straight into nobility. Actually, we bring that down 3 points, and the rest are going to go straight into nobility. So this is how his basic stat lineup looks like. He's not very good at ship breaking, but that's not his entire thing. Let's see. It's a little bit low, but hopefully the idea of assumed competence means that... But he's got 5s almost across the board. That's the thing. Like, he's clearly competent. The idea, though, is like he's not great at doing much else. He then applies his bonuses from the life path. He then applies his bonuses from the life path, with finally having a finalizing his titles as, so it's going to be Boss 5, Bravo 5, Buccaneer 2, Grifter 4, Noble 5, Shipbreaker 2. Yeah, he is, to give you an idea, he needs to roll a 1 or a 2 on a D8 to do anything Shipbreaker or Buccaneer related. But he needs to roll a 5 or lower on a D8 for Bravo, Boss, and Noble, which is pretty good. That's kind of the idea. Like, that's something I want to kind of get across. So, like, an average check might be like 3, 4, it might be 3 dice. And he rolls, and luckily for his boss, he would have scored 3 successes. However, if I rolled Shipbreaker, he would have rolled 0 because he rolled a 4-5-5. Like, he's going to succeed more on average for these ones than with Shipbreaker or Buccaneer. So if you ever want to put Ozzy here at problems, you try to violently assault him. Yeah, numbers might get changed around a little bit. I believe this is... I think Grifter does need a new name. I completely... Like, the thing is, I understand what it is. I know what it is, but finding the right name for it's a little bit weird. Raid ships like a boss. But yeah, no, like, what this guy wants to do is he wants to keep his crew in line, and he wants to leverage who he is. He is the kind of person who is leveraging, oh, everyone likes me, I'm kind of intimidating. He is literally all talk and no show. He's also fucking stupid. He's a dumbass. So he needs somebody else to kind of back him up in that regard. He needs someone with high Buccaneer. He needs somebody with high Shipbreaker. Because, but here's the secret. This is the big secret. What he can do, you have to ask yourself, who's going to want to take more credit for things? The guy with high Shipbreaker, or the guy with high Buccaneer, or the guy with neither? And that's kind of one of the dynamics. Like, Ozzy here, what he would need to do and what he would need to play as is somebody who is invaluable in what he can do, because everybody else can kind of take the lion's share from him when he can't really retaliate. It's like, in a straight fight, he's going to get his shit rocked. And anytime he needs to, like, fix something, he's going to get his shit rocked. What he wants to do is keep everybody in line, kind of thing. That's one of the big ideas. So, okay. I'm going to wrap it up here today. We did pretty good. We got a solid lead on things. Let's do this. So yeah, I mean, this doesn't, like, thing is, this doesn't seem like a lot. Like, wow, Notepad, you wrote 10 pages. Ooh, good job. It's there. That's the big thing. And probably from the current lineup, like, what we can do. This is the thing what needs to be done more than anything. Probably next time we're gonna finish character creation. That'll be pretty simple. Really, all it needs to do is skills / kind of like backgrounds. I think I know how to do it. It's just doing it more than anything. From there, we're going to go into probably it's going to be, ship creation. We're immediately going into ship creation. This is going to be the hump. I'm going to say this right now. This is the hump. I'm going to say probably Wednesday and Friday are going to be dedicated entirely just to ship creation. Because it's going to be me sitting here doing ships. And then once ship creation is done, we then move on to, then we move on to ship combat, because we need to understand how that works. Then we're going to go on to home base. Home base, which is kind of more the side stuff of, kind of the, the market system, kind of the open map, and generally jobs. And then we're going to end it off with kind of like, I would say call it a GM section, but it's not quite going to be a GM section. Like, generally speaking, the hump is going to be this. Like, this is the hump right here. Once the hump is done, we're going to be pretty good. But, like, every moment with ship combat needs to be almost redirected to ship creation. Because with ship combat, we also have to do the idea of salvage. Repair, and actually what we can do probably is actually the idea of salvaging. Which is going to bring into... Fuck me. We can have to do... we'll call it the man of the fleet. Yeah, there we go. Like, this doesn't seem like a lot to do. There's just a lot of little things that need to kind of get packed together. My estimation is that this game's probably going to be about 50 pages. That's kind of my goal, and my overall goal is if we make good time, if we make good pace, I want to get this done by the 16th. Mostly because think that would be a pretty good time, and then we could start on the next round of things. Give me a week to actually see what kind of won the initial ones, which the overall voting so far has been going pretty solid. Let me go to the October or September, I mean. The current voting, as you can see, has been pretty good. We have 13 responses on the Prole one. One person did vote for embracing my alter ego in RPG, which I find very funny. But yeah, here's the basic voting behind things. I hate to break it to a lot of you guys. It's just like this. The voting has the plutocrats have spoken in some cases, so democracy might be a little bit dead, but don't worry about that generally. But yeah, generally, let's see how much did we actually do. I mean, it's only 1800, not 1800, only about a little under 2,000 words. That's not much. I'll mind you, it's 11 pages, but a lot of this is white space because I have to fill it in with other stuff. Like Twinkling Starlight this is going to be the entire lore section just to wrap things up. And this, yeah. So again, don't be like, oh wow, 10 pages is a lot. It's not. It's really not. But I'm going to wrap it there. I have to write the script for tomorrow's video tonight. What's going on in here? What's in God's name is going on in my server? Why are you all the way that you are? What is this? What are you doing in my server? Script writing. Really, what the script write like? Let's see. What's the exact thing I have to do for? We go to the notice board. It's going to be as you kind of see here. Nope, didn't mean to click on that. As you kind of see here, this is the week schedule. don't mind that. Generally speaking, though, this is the week schedule. And the big thing is right up here on Tuesday, Sprug Workshop Special. So you're setting your game in your golden path. I kind of was going to talk about this, and I was kind of having some issues kind of working it in with Coyote and Crow as well as Overlight. So I'm going to do like a little thing on it being kind of more along the line. I don't know if I want to call it like a, so you want to build your own game workshop or whatever, but more along the idea of your setting does influence your game quite a bit. And here's some notes, be like, when you're writing a setting for, and you're writing a game for your setting, take some notes for this and understand what you're actually doing. Your really cool setting may not really be good for a game. I've encountered this before. People have this like very large expansive setting that's great for a book that may not be great for an RPG. Like, and sometimes it gets a little bit, is this a One Piece reference? Maybe. It may be. But yeah, no, like one of the big ideas is mostly around the concept of like one, I see a lot of settings that sometimes pop up. I'm going to use Coyote and Crow and Overlight as an example throughout, which is more along the ideas of, if your setting is so massive, no one, like, you have no like minor details about things, which really kind of complicates things, because people are going to ask questions about like, hey, what's this all about? Hey, what's this all about? And you're not going to have any answers for it because it's so massive and it's so large. On the other hand, you end up with Coyote and Crow, which goes so specific, so very specific, you lose a lot of the grander experience. You lose a lot of the adventure that could potentially happen because everything is explained to you. So there's like, again, there's this golden path which you kind of have to kind of weave in of like, you have enough detail, but not all the detail. Yeah, that's kind of what the video tomorrow is probably going to be. I might change things up in how I want to write it. It's kind of been back and forth in my head. Thursday's going to be, yeah, Thursday's going to be Dungeons and Dragoning 40k 7.6 edition. I'm ready for that video. That's going to be kind of an interesting one. And this Saturday we're going to be going over Lancer Battlefleet, because that game is a fucking weird one, and I think going over it will be fun. So yeah, that's kind of the schedule for the rest of the week. So Godspeed, good luck. I'll catch you all on the flip side, and have a nice rest of your day. If I get the video done early enough, I might do a Tuesday stream. I don't know what it would be about, but it might happen, so bear that in mind. All right, I am away.